Today's lecture will be on another important skill in learning language. Mainly, of course, our lecture is on English language. That is writing skills. Writing skills. Of course, before starting, we'll talk about the objectives of this lecture. The main objectives of learning writing can be summarized, of course, as follows. Of course, we can say, effective communication, like to develop the ability to express ideas clearly and concisely for diverse audience. Critical thinking and analysis, of course, enhancing or to enhance skills in analyzing and evaluating information to create logical and persuasive content. Creative expression as well, cultivate creativity to convey emotions and unique perspectives, attitudes through various writing forms like narratives and poetry. Informational and persuasive writing. Of course, this is to acquire skills to craft informative and persuasive texts to educate and influence readers. Research and documentation. To learn, that is, to conduct research and cite sources accurately to support arguments in academic and professional writing. These are the main goals, let's say, or objectives that we need to discuss in this lecture, inshallah. Now, to the key terms that we are going to use, or to sometimes speak about. Clarity. The first is clarity. Writing in a clear and understandable manner without confusing language or jargon. Coherence as well, which is very important in writing, that is unity or cohesion. Ensuring that ideas flow logically and are connected in a way that makes sense to the leader. Conciseness, using precise language to convey ideas without unnecessary repetition of wordiness. Audience, of course, which is important because it's important to write to the audience, who is the reader, that is to say. So, audience, understanding who the writing is intended for and tailoring the content accordingly. Another, that is purpose, knowing the reason for writing to inform, persuade, entertain, etc., and structuring the content to fulfill that purpose. Another also aspect, thesis statement, which is very important in writing, a clear and focused statement that presents the main idea or argument of an essay or paper. Of course, that is sometimes we said the topic sentence. Evidence, of course, we need evidence for writing. So to support ideas, we need evidence in order to support ideas and arguments with relevant facts, examples, or explanations. Eight, organization. Okay, that is structuring the writing in a logical order with an introduction, body, paragraphs, and a conclusion. And this is, for all writing, let's say, topics. Okay, we need these as means. Transitions, of course, using words or phrases to connect ideas and paragraphs smoothly. Like cohesive devices, for example, or like transitionals, let's say. Number 10, grammar. Of course, in writing, the most important skill here in writing or point, let's say, is the grammar. Because it is, without, even grammar is tested in most tests, by the way, these days, like TOEFL, okay, IBT, or even, let's say, IELTS and many other exams or tests. Writing is test, or, grammar is test through writing. Grammar is test through writing. Basic understanding of grammar rules such as sentence structure, verb agreement, and punctuation marks, etc. Okay, all these, are called grammar, which is very important in writing. I welcome all of you to our lecture for today about learning writing skills, inshallah, where we delve into the fundamental aspects of effective writing. This session is designed for students at an average level, focusing on essential skills that are foundational to clear, coherent, and purposeful writing. In this lecture, we will explore key concepts and techniques that will help to improve your writing skills and communicate your ideas more effectively. More effectively. Now, whether you are writing essays, reports, emails, or creative pieces, mastering these essentials will set a strong foundation for your writing journey. Throughout the session, also, we will cover important topics such as clarity, coherence, audience awareness, purposeful writing, organizing your thoughts, using evidence, and refining your writing style. These elements are central for creating impactful and engaging written content regardless of the subject or genre. By the end of this lecture, inshallah, you will have a better understanding of how to structure your writing, how to organize your thought, that is, to convey your ideas clearly and engage your readers effectively. You will also gain insights into the revision and editing process, ensuring that your final work is polished and professional. We encourage, of course, active participation and engagement during the session, so feel free to ask questions, sharing your thought, and participate in discussions. Let's go through the word of writing essentials and enhance your writing skills together. Now, this introduction, of course, set the stage for the lecture, highlighting the importance of the topics to be covered and encouraging students' engagement, okay, throughout the session. It also establishes a welcoming and interactive learning environment conducive to effective learning and skill development in writing. The main topics of the lecture, the first one is the clarity and conciseness. Of course, it is one of the main, let's say, aspect of effective writing is clarity, then to being clear, which refers to the ability to express ideas in a clear and understandable manner. Conciseness as well complements clarity by using precise language and avoiding unnecessary wordiness. Here's how you can improve clarity and conciseness in your writing. Example for one, for example, avoiding ambiguity. Ambiguity is sometimes using unclear words or, so ambiguous. Okay, the teacher, for example, the teacher talked about the book. The teacher talked about the book. So this general, which book, for example? So the teacher talked about the book. It says what? Ambiguous. What kind of book the teacher, let's say, talked about? Clearer and more concise, we can say, this is the first example to clarify this example. We can say the teacher discussed the themes of the novel To Kill Mockingbird in class. See? So look at this here. Know, we now know what the book is. It's a novel To Kill a Mockingbird. So here, this is what we mean by clarity or clarifying. The teacher discussed the themes of a novel or of the novel To Kill Mockingbird in class. Example 2, using active voice. Active voice is also important. That is sometimes, that is in writing or in English grammar, let's say we have something, that's passive and active. We had a lecture about passive voice, okay, if you remember. Or to come. Now, active voice, that is the subject exists. We have the subject. Any sentence must start with the subject, as you in English language, okay? That is the subject, which is the doer of the action. And here, when you talk about passive, the subject is passive, that is unknown, for example, or it's just disappeared, it's not there. So we use the object instead, okay? The object replaces the subject. This is passive. Now, for example, here in writing, sometimes they, some techniques or some, let's say, methods, they focus on it is good to focus on the subject rather than, the object. So, for example, here we have this passive sentence. Okay, mistakes were made by the team during the project. Now, this is passive voice, okay? Now, active, excuse me, active and concise, we can say the team made mistakes during the project. The team made the mistakes during the project. This is also part of clarity. Example 3, eliminating redundancies. Redundancy, that is repetition sometimes of the same word that has the same meaning. We can say redundant, مثلا repeat again. We can't say repeat again because repeat means again. So this is that it's constant, just say repeat. Also, we can say another example. We can say advance forward. What is advance forward? Our return back. You can say either return or turn back. Okay, return or turn back. So this is a type of redundancy that students should avoid in writing. Okay, so this is what we mean by eliminating redundancies. Clarity, for example, and conciseness help readers understand your message without confusion or unnecessary details, making your writing more engaging and impactful. To add more, the following are more tasks and examples on this topic. For example, rewrite what sentences for clarity. Rewriting the sentence. Given a set of ambiguous or let's say convoluted, that is, sentences, students can practice rewriting them to improve clarity. Yes, sometimes we need to rewrite. Okay, let's say we can say drafting first, then we can rewrite the draft. Okay, to make it more, let's say, or have more clarity. For instance, original, we can say the event had an impact on a lot of people. Improved, we can say the event profoundly affected the entire community. This is, of course, more also, let's say, advanced, let's say, or academic as well, or formal, let me say. Task 2, eliminate wordiness. Wordiness, that is using too much word sometimes. Okay, provide students with wordy sentences and ask them to condense them without losing meanings. For example, wordy for example, this sentence, in my personal opinion, I believe, look at this, in my personal opinion, I believe that it is essential for us to work together collaboratively as a team. This is words, many words, okay? So we can concise. It's crucial for us to collaborate as a team. Very simple, and also, it is brief, but also more formal than the previous wordy sentence. Task 3, that's identify and correct ambiguity. To identify and correct the ambiguity. Present sentences with ambiguous meanings and have, of course, students clarify them. Okay, present sentences with ambiguous meanings and have students clarify them. For instance, that is ambiguous sentence like she told him about her book. Okay, this is ambiguous. Clarified one, that she shared details about the novel she was writing with him. See, look at this, the different ambiguous one and, of course, the clarified one. By engaging in such tasks, students can actively practice improving the clarity and conciseness of their writing, leading to more effective communication. Now, this is the first topic about or regarding second topic, that's organization and structure. Organizing, that is the writing, okay, task, and of course the structure related to that. Organizing your writing effectively is very important for coherence and readability. A well-structured piece of writing flows logically from one point to another, guiding readers through your ideas in a cohesive manner. Consider, for example, the following strategies. Example 1, using paragraphs. Of course, it's very important to use paragraphs. Each paragraph should focus on a single main idea or topic. We have the topic sentence, for example, okay, that holds or that has the main idea, expresses the main idea. And of course, this main topic is followed by supporting sentences or ideas, okay? So, for instance, in an essay about climate change, for example, separate paragraphs can discuss causes, effects, and solutions in this essay. This is just for this point. Example 2, introductions and conclusions. A strong introduction sets the tone and previews the main point, while a concluding paragraph summarizes key arguments and leaves a lasting, of course, impression. Okay. Example, of course, 3, here we have transition words. it's important to use transitionals or transition words that relate sentences or paragraphs sometimes. Transition word and phrases, for example, however, therefore, in addition, etc., connect ideas within and between, of course, sentences or paragraphs, creating a smooth flow of thought. Well organized writing helps, of course, readers follow your train of thought and understand the relationships between different concepts and arguments below. As you will see, are more tasks and examples on this topic. Task one, for example, we can say create outlines. In order to create outlines, we can ask, of course, students to create outlines before writing essays or reports. This, of course, will help you organize your thoughts and structure your writing logically. Another task, that's paragraph development, that is provide, of course, topic sentences and ask, to develop paragraphs around, let's say arranging your thoughts with supporting details and examples. This, of course, reinforces the importance of coherence and unity within the paragraphs. Task three now, this is also important, rearrange information. Okay, give, that is here, in order to rearrange the information, you need to be given jumbled paragraphs and, to rearrange, the sentences in order to improve coherence and flow. This emphasizes the importance of proper sequences and transitions as well. Examples, of course, of well-structured writing include, we can have, let's say, an essay with an introduction, body paragraphs, focusing on different aspects of the topic, and a conclusion summarizing key points. All these, of course, are important to improve your writing skills. Of course, generally we start with the main, let's say, topic sentence, let's say the main statement or thesis statements, of course, and how to develop it, how to start writing it, then how to develop to write more about this, let's say, topic sentence, to as evidence, of course, giving examples, and of course at least 3 or 4 sentences for the same or one paragraph. Then you can write about the second paragraph related to the first paragraph in order to be coherent and united. So a report, let's say, with the clear headings, subtitles or subheadings, let's say, and sections for different pieces of information or analysis. Through these tasks and examples, you will learn how to effectively organize your writing in order to enhance readability and comprehension. Now, regarding the third topic, this is the reader or the audience awareness and purposeful writing. Any writing must have a purpose, of course. Okay, there's let's say, a purpose for writing, and of course the audience awareness. We should put this in mind. Understanding your audience and the purpose of your writing is essential for tailoring your message effectively. Different audiences may require different writing styles, tones, and level of formality. Yeah, we should put this in mind. Consider this example. For example, here we have these points to discuss. The first one is formal versus informal tone. Formal, let's say, a business report addressing stakeholders with professional language and terminology. That is sometimes use formal language. It's not, you can't use in business, let's say, writing as, informal. It must be formal. So a formal, let's say, a business report addressing stakeholders with professional language and terminology. This is part of formal, writing. Informal, we can say a blog post using conversational language and anecdotes to engage readers. So this is, of course, because it is blog, social, that is, say, post. So it is informal in this case. Example 2, academic versus creative writing. Yes, academically speaking, writing, of course, must be formal. Okay, and not only formal, you have to use academic, let's say, terminology. Of course, with what we mean by creative writing here must be creative. Academic, a research paper with citation, logical arguments, and a scholarly tone. Yes, and when you talk about academic, you have to cite, you have to, let's say, support your ideas with logical arguments. Okay, and of course creative here, a short story that is, of course, these are two different in aspects, but they are related in writing. So creative, that's a short story with vivid descriptions, character development, and narrative elements, of course, which has different, of course, aspects of writing. Example 3, you can say persuasive versus informative writing. Persuasive, in order to persuade the reader, let's say your writing must be informative. So persuasive, an opinion, for example, peace advocating, supporting for environmental conversation with compelling arguments and persuasive language. Informative, an article for providing factual information about renewable energy sources with clear explanation, and data. By aligning your writing style, tone, and content with your audience and purpose, you can effectively engage readers and achieve your communication goals. More tasks, of course, or on these aspects that we have discussed, or you know factors, let's say. Task 1, we can say identify target audience. We need to identify that. You need to know to whom you are writing. Students can identify the target audience for different types of writing assignments, if it is academic or professional or personal, and adjust your writing here, style and tone accordingly. Task 2, that is, here to tailor content for different audiences. Um you need to be provided with the same, or you need to provide the same topic, but ask, to write about it in different styles for varied, of course, audiences, like formal versus informal, technical versus general audiences or audience. Task 3, analyze sample text. Okay, to have you analyze, let's say, analyze sample text to identify the author's purpose, intended audience, and how the writing effectively communicates its message. Examples of purposeful writing include, of course, we have some examples here too, to talk about that. Persuasive is, say, using strong arguments and persuasive language to convince readers of a particular viewpoint, attitude, idea, let's say. A professional email, of course, with clear purpose, okay, concise language, and appropriate tone for the recipient. The recipient, that is the reader of your, or of your writing, let's say, or message. By completing these tasks and studying examples, you will develop a deeper understanding of how audience awareness and purposeful writing contribute to effective communication. These collaborations provide a more detailed and practical approach to learning writing skills, offering specific tasks and examples that reinforce key concepts and strategies for clear, organized, and purposeful writing. Sample of writing task, let's say here. After you have finished what there is a business, politics, warmth, and soon have found that none of these finally satisfy or permanently where what remains, nature remains. This is one of that's example on writing. Okay, as you can see, it is what more formal. Okay, as you have seen. Okay, this is one sample, let's say, of writing task. Another, we can say, activity, that's one write it. Here we have this active for you, that is, you can do all about nature, let's say. So we can say write the first draft of a paragraph as a task, of course. You have to write the first draft of a paragraph that answers one of the following questions. Do you feel human beings are interconnected with nature? Okay, this is the first question. Or do you feel involved in improving the environment around you? This is for you. But the first one, do you feel about human beings if they are interconnected with nature. Okay, now this is a task. Okay, another that is, what do you do to keep your environment clean and healthy? This is another topic to discuss. Okay, what do you feel, or what do you do to keep, sorry, your environment clean and healthy? Check the first draft, of course. You need to the draft, by the way, you're writing. Okay, and inshallah we'll, let's say, we can check it later. Okay, and correct if there's any mistakes to be let's say corrected. Of course, you need to save your corrected draft. You will receive, of course, instructions, inshallah, in class about how to submit the assignment. The summary of this lecture, of course, as we have seen, talking about writing is very important, and also it's not easy, as cannot be discussed in one lecture as well. We need a lot of practice, let's say lectures, in order to practice more. First, drafting, writing, structuring, organizing thoughts, and of course, drafting, and then also we can say correcting mistakes if you have made any mistakes. Okay, in the class, of course. So we need a lot of practice in the class to write, let's say, the sentence, then the first paragraph, then they say. Now, of course, this is here the lesson focused on essential writing skills, including clarity and conciseness, organization and structure, and audience awareness as well. It also emphasized practical activities such as peer editing, revision, practice exercises, and genre exploration to enhance your writing proficiency. The goal was to help you develop clear, well structured, and purposeful writing that effectively communicates ideas to different audiences. In addition to the practical activities mentioned, the lesson also highlighted the importance of feedback and collaboration in the writing process. By engaging in peer editing sessions and participating in writing workshops, students not only receive valuable insights into improving their own writing, but also learn from their peers, strengths and challenges. This collaborative approach fosters a supportive learning environment where you can refine your writing skills through constructive criticisms and peer interaction. Furthermore, the lesson, of course, that we have discussed underscored the value of real world writing tasks and genre exploration, assigning tasks that mirror real life scenarios, such as writing business emails or reports, prepares students for practicing or practical, let's say, application for, let's say, the writing skills beyond the classroom. Of course, again, I assure and emphasize that writing cannot be discussed in one lecture. It's just one introduction lecture to introduce many practical, let's say, classes in order to develop, let's say, your writing. Okay, as we know, we have different types of writing as well. If it is formal, informal, business, let's say, or even let's say creative. Okay, like for literature and many others, analysis, let's say, analytical writing as well, academic writing. All this is, will be inshallah discussed in more details and with more practical classes or lectures inshallah in the future. So exploring, of course, different writing genres encourages creativity and adaptability, enabling students to tailor your writing styles and approach to diverse writing contexts and purposes. In general, the lesson aimed to equip you with the foundational skills, feedback mechanisms, and practical experiences necessary for effective and versatile writing. Inshallah, wishing you all the best. Okay, thank you for today. Have a nice time. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.